Hello, welcome back. My name is Ayub Sylvester, and today I'm coming up with another lesson which is exciting one, and this is for beginners and those intermediate prayers. So I have called this lesson as the foundational chords that every musician should know. So first of all, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I ask you do me a favor, you subscribe, you like and comment below, and ask any question and put on the comment section the videos that you want me to be making or to improve. So the foundational chords that you should know, apart from knowing your major scale, because the first thing that you should be able to do is to know your major scale in all 12 key. So if I ask you the major scale, for instance the key of C, you know the major scale of C, C sharp, D, E flat, E, F, F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, B, then we come back to C. So you do the same for the left hand and the right hand. So after you know your major scale, now what are the foundational chords? Because those chords that you see pros do, just like they do something like this is C major 7. Maybe they can play it like this. This is C, C major 7. This is also C major 7. So I'm just inverting the chord. C major 9. So a chord like this, or simply let me play the C major 7. So this chord is the chord chord, meaning that it is made up of two chords. If you observe carefully, if I play the right hand, this is C major chord, just inverted. So it was a C major chord inverted, and what I played here was the, so in my right hand I'm playing the C major chord, but in my left hand I'm playing the E minor chord. So if I combine E minor chord and C major chord, I get C major 7. And if I can add maybe the 9, so this is major 9 chord. So you see, you come up with a cool sound by simply playing two chords. For instance, this is F major 9 chord, and again, if you observe my right hand, I'm playing the F triad, but in my left hand I'm playing the G minor. The G minor chord, but inverted. So if you are wondering where do I get the names easily, it's because I know well my major scale. So in order for you to name a chord, whether it's a major 9, major 7, dominant, or whichever name you want to refer to, you should definitely know how to play your major scale in that particular chord. So if I'm in this chord, I'm naming this chord basing on the major scale of F. Meanwhile, I'm still in the key of C. So as you can see so far, I can use two chords to get one chord, which is Paul chord. That's why I've called this lesson the foundation chords, because they are chords that if you know them, if you know well to play them in all the inversion, then the oncoming task will be only to combine the chords. So how do I get these chords? These are the foundation chords. So to make life easier, let's use the key of C. So I'm going to demonstrate these foundational chords in the key of C. Then I'm going to show you the places where you can use these chords. And apart from using the chords, I can also show you how you can combine the two chords and get those sounds that you are always eagering to know. So here, let's take the C major. How do I get a major chord? If I'm in the key of C, I'm sticking with the major scale of the of C. So in the key of C, this is my C. And if this is my major scale, now I want to find the major chord. So how do I get the major chord? And for the case of the foundational chords, I'm going to use triads. What are the triads? Triads are the chords which are made up of 3 notes. So I'm going to use the chord which comprises of 3 notes. So if you see me adding some extra notes, those are for the next part of this video. But for the case of this video, for the foundational chords, you are going to use only 3 chords. So now, how do I get a C major chord? Because apart from knowing this is the C major, you should also know the number 16. After you know your scale, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And for piano players who always play by ear, for most of the gospel musicians do play by using their ear. So we do communicate using number. So you should know the major scale, and from the major scale, you know your numbers. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So now, from the number 16, chord 1, 4, and 5, they are always the major chord. So how do I form a major chord? You can use the 2 or 3 methods to obtain the major chord. You can use the number 16 to obtain a major chord. You can use the major scale to obtain a major chord, and also you can use the interval. So let's start with the interval, because the interval is I think, as for me, is the easiest way to find the major chord. So if I want a major chord of C, for by using interval, you count the half step, 1, 2, 3. So I'm skipping 3 notes. You skip 3, you skip 2. So this is the C major. How do you find the C major? You skip 3 notes, you press the following note, then you skip the 2 notes, you form your major chord. So this is my major chord. How do I find F major chord? The task is only to count. So I count 1, 2, 3. I skip 3 notes. then I count 2. 1, 2. This is F major chord. So the easiest way to find any major chord on the piano, you just find the starting note that you want. For instance, I want the major chord of A flat. So if this is A flat, then I'm skipping 1, 2, 3, I'm playing 1, 2, I'm playing. So this is my major chord. So by using that method, I can almost form all the major chords. So this is my C major chord, C sharp major chord, D major chord. Then I'm coming to E flat major chord, E major chord, F major chord, F sharp major chord, a triad, which is comprises of 3 notes. Then you come to G major chord, A flat major chord, A major chord, B major chord. This is B flat major chord, B major chord, and this is C. So you see, you can find the major chord by counting. You skip 3 notes, then 2 notes. So I think, as for me, that's the easiest way to find the major chord. The second way on how you can easily find the major chord, you can use the number system. So if I know I want the major chord of C, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So if I know well my number system, I know the major chord of any chord is the 1, the 3, and the 5th degree of the major scale. See? So this is the 1, 2, the 3, and the 5. So 1, 3, and 5. I get the major chord. If it's for C sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So this is 5, this is 3, this is 1. So this is how I can find the major chord. You can do it for any chord. If you are in the key of F, now this is my major scale. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So this is 5, this is 3, this is 1. So how do I get the major chord? I play the 1, the 3rd, and the 5th. See, that's how you can find the major chord, by using the number system of the major scale. The last method of how you can easily find the major chord is using the major scale itself. It's just like I'm repeating the same thing, but it's just the way of thinking. You can think of it as numbers, or you can think of following a scale. So for instance, for example, if you are in the key of F sharp, if I want to play a major chord, so I can skip 1 note, because this is my scale. This is the scale. So if I skip 1 note, I'm skipping this, I play this, I skip this, I play this. So I get the major chord. So you can use the either way to find the major chord. So you should definitely know how to play all your major chords in all 12 keys. Like that. So that is chord 1, foundational chord. There's no way you can skip this. You should know it. And don't be lazy to understand this concept in only 1 key. You should do your exercise so that you can play all the major triad in all 12 key. I don't want you to be lazy. I want you to be a good player. You want to play the piano, not to play a key. So don't stick on a particular key. Now it's time for the minor chord. So if you can know how to find the major chord, finding a minor chord is very easy, because you are taking the middle note and flattening it, or shifting it a half step below. For instance, this was our C major. So how do I get C minor? I'm taking the middle note and and flattening it, shifting it a half step. So this way I put it like this. So C major, C minor, D major, D minor, E major, E minor, F major, F minor, G major, G minor. This is A major, A minor, B major, B minor, back to C. And for black note, this was C sharp major. So the minor chord is this one, C sharp major, C sharp minor, E flat major, E flat minor, F sharp major, F sharp minor, F sharp major, F sharp minor, A flat major, A flat minor, and then B flat major, B flat minor. So you see, I have found the minor chord for all the 12 keys easily. And if you know well your major scale, for instance, if you are in the key of C, let's go back to the key of C, because it's very easy to demonstrate on the key of C. We have white notes. Now, the first scale degree is always major. The fourth scale degree, the 4, is always major. And the fifth scale degree, the 5, is always major. So I have major 1, major 4, major 5. The 2, the 3, and 6 are minor, as you can see. The 2, the 3, the 6 are minor. So the 7, I don't want to talk about it, but it's the third. It's listed there as the third point that I want to talk about. But let me touch it, then I will hold it for a moment while continuing with the minor concept. Now, the 7th scale degree of any major scale is always a diminished triad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And how do you find the 7th degree of any major scale? For any key, the note just below the root or the 1 is the 7, because we do always have the interval of half step between the 7 and the 1. So if I'm the key of C, this is the 7. If I'm the key of C sharp, this is the 7. If I'm in the key of D, this is the 7. If I'm the key of E flat, this is the 7. If I'm the key of E, this is the 7, and so forth. So that's how you find the 7. Now, to play the chord for the 7, it is a diminished. So let me use the normal concept, or the normal way that I just showed you on how to find a major chord by using interval, and I want you to find the diminished chord by using interval. How do you find a diminished chord? For instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7. So you skip 2 notes. 1, 2, 1, 2. So a diminished chord is always easy to find, because if you skip 2 notes, it's just a symmetrical chord, meaning that the intervallic pattern, the interval between these 2 notes and these notes, is just the same. From here, I have skipped only 2 notes, and from here to here, I have skipped 2 notes. So that's how you find the diminished chord. So if you we stick in the key of C, 1 is major. Why? Because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's how we find the major chord. Now the 2 is minor. So how do you find the minor chord? It's just by using you shift, because the quality between the major and the minor, the other one is just like happy, and the other one is sad. Major chord is always happy, then minor just like raining or sadness, happiness, sadness. So like it's major, but if I do like this, it's minor. So minor is just a sound which is bringing sadness, but major, it's happy, but minor, that's the minor sound. So the way you can find the minor chord, by using interval, you can count. So you shift. As for major chord, it's 1 2 3 1 2, but as for minor chord, because this is minor, then it's 1 2, then 1 2 3. So in the key of C, 1 is major because 1 2 3 1 2 is major, and the second degree is minor. Why? Because from here it's 1 2, I have skipped the 2 notes, and from here I've skipped 3 notes. The third is also a minor. Why? Because 2 by 3. So it says that 2 by 3 or 3 by 2. As for major chords, it's 3 by 2. As for minor chord, 2 by 3. So that's the simplest way you can view it. Major, minor, minor, major. Why is this F major? Because 1 3 2, 3 by 2. And 5 is major. Why? Because it's 3 by 2. Then the 6 is minor because 2 2 by 3 minor. Then for the chord 7, it's diminished. Why? Because 1 2 1 2. So the key of C is very easy to determine all those chords by using the other concept that I taught the previous lesson of finding the chords by following the major scale. So in the major scale, I'm skipping 1 note. In the major scale of C, I'm skipping 1 note. So I've skipped 1 note, 1 note, 1 note, 1 note. So I'm not thinking about intervals. I'm thinking about how many notes have I skipped. So if you use the concept of skipping notes by following the major scale, you can easily find the diatonic chords of that particular major scale. Because remember, we have 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You go back to 1. So all those 7 notes have got their chords. And those foundational chords, to begin with, those are the 3 triads. You have the major, you have the minor, and the diminished. And the 1, the 4, and the 5 of any major scale is the major. And the 3, the 2, and the 6 of any major scale are minors. And the 7, the 7th degree of any major scale is diminished. So, excuse me, let's take the key of A flat, for example. A flat. So if this is A flat, now how am I going to get all the diatonic chords? Because as for C, is very simple. I'm going like this. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, this is 1. But how am I going to get the chords for the A flat? So now, the first thing, as I always say, is the major scale. And if you don't know the major scale, I have a pretty cool explanation on those major scales for all 12 keys with the correct fingering. You just scroll down, you will get all the the video that I made. Now this is my major scale. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1. So I know that as for A flat is the 1, B the 2, C the 3, 4, C sharp is the 4, E flat is the 5, F is the 6, G is the 7, then back to 1. So I know that as for this particular scale, now the chord for chord 1 is major. So how do I get this? I'm skipping one note because 1 2 3 4 5. So I'm skipping this, I'm playing this, skipping this, playing this. Or you use the interval key pattern, that is I'm skipping 3, I'm skipping 2. But with time, the stuff are going to be is, I promise you, because at first when I was just learning how to play this major chord, major chords, it was very difficult for me. But with time, it became very easy. I can visualize the chord direct before I touch it. So I know this is major, this is minor, and after some time of practicing, you find that you develop the muscle memory. So you are not thinking about those chords anymore, but the fingers will just automatically hit what you want at that particular moment. So this is major. Then the next chord, which is B, is minor. Then the third degree is minor, which is C. Now my C is minor. See? Now the fourth scale degree is major. The fifth scale degree is major. The sixth scale degree is minor. The seventh scale degree is diminished. As you can check, I have skipped the 2, skip 2. So if I'm about to play this as a diatonic chords, or you start from here. Or if you go in the key of D, 1 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is major, and as always 7 is diminished. So you see, those are the 3 major chords. I have the major inside. So major, minor, and diminished. So how do I get the augmented chord? And I'm going to create another video on how you can use all these. So I don't want to keep this lesson long. I want it to be short so that you can we can easily continue with the next part of this lesson, because the foundation is always the principal part of the main structure. If you have poor foundation, you are definitely going to have a poor house. So we are spending much time on this minor stuff so that you can have a strong grasp of this chord. Then it will be easier for the following lessons. Now the last chord is the augmented chord. So now as for diminished chord, if I ask you to play me a diminished chord, it's just like this. This is C major, C minor, C diminished, C major 3 by 2, C minor 2 by 3, C diminished 2 by 2. But as for augmented chord, it's like this. It is 3 by 3. So for any key or for any note on the piano, you should learn how to play all the 4 foundation chords. For instance, if I'm in the key of C, I ask you to play C major, C minor, C diminished, C augmented. If you go in the key of F, F major, F minor, F diminished, F augmented. See? So I know this is augmented, this is diminished, this is major, this is minor. And if I go to any other key, for instance, maybe E, this is E major, E minor, E diminished, E augmented. So I'm giving you an assignment. You just go and learn how to play all those foundational chords, and in the next lesson I'm going to show you how to use each chord in the concept of a song. God bless you. My name is again Ayub Sylvester. Don't forget to hit that subscription button if you haven't yet subscribed, and like, comment for the development of our channel. God bless you.